In 1944, Mount Vesuvius erupted dramatically over Naples. Residents gathered at vantage points, witnessing nature's terrifying power. Thick plumes of smoke rose high into the sky. Ash rained down, covering streets, homes, and surrounding countryside. The eruption destroyed villages, vineyards, and farmland nearby. American soldiers stationed in Italy also watched the spectacle. This event became one of Vesuvius's most destructive eruptions. In 1962, Broadway introduced A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. The production combined Roman farce with timeless comedy. Zero Mostel starred as Pseudolus, delivering unmatched energy and wit. John Carradine joined the cast, bringing commanding presence and style. Their performances created a stage dynamic, both hilarious and memorable. The show received glowing reviews from critics and audiences alike. In 1937, Prague mourned the death of Czechoslovakia's founding president, Tomáš Masaryk. Crowds gathered solemnly across the city during his funeral. 2 minutes of silence were observed in his honor. The gesture reflected deep respect for his leadership and vision. Masaryk had guided Czechoslovakia's independence after World War I. His passing marked the end of a defining political era. For many, it symbolized both gratitude and national loss. In 1902, Austria-Hungary showcased its remarkable cultural and ethnic diversity. A photograph captured 9 distinct groups living together within the empire. These groups included Hungarians, Austrians, Slovaks, Czechs, Croats, and others. The image symbolized unity amid complex political and social differences. Traditional clothing highlighted the uniqueness of each represented community. In 1990, Princess Diana visited the White House during an official trip. She met First Lady Barbara Bush inside the elegant yellow Oval Room. The room, often used for receptions, symbolized American hospitality and diplomacy. Diana's charm and grace made her an admired guest worldwide. Barbara Bush, known for warmth, welcomed her with genuine kindness. This meeting reflected mutual respect between the United States and Britain. In the 1910s, children enjoyed carefree playtime in Central Park. The open space offered a welcome escape from New York's crowded streets. Behind them, the Grand Clark Mansion stood overlooking the city. The mansion symbolized Gilded Age wealth, towering above everyday life. Playful laughter of children contrasted sharply with the mansion's silent grandeur. This moment captured innocence against the backdrop of urban transformation. In 1925 San Francisco, advertisements promoted the Maxwell automobile with pride. The car was marketed as Good Maxwell, reflecting reliability and innovation. It was built by Chrysler engineers, emphasizing strength and modern engineering. Such advertisements highlighted America's growing fascination with automobiles and technology. The Maxwell symbolized progress, offering families comfort and newfound mobility. Chicago in the late 1960s was alive with transformation. The city balanced industrial grit with emerging cultural and artistic energy. Civil rights movements and protests reflected wider changes across America. Neighborhoods buzzed with music, especially jazz, blues, and soul. Architecture stood tall, symbolizing ambition and urban pride. Every street captured a mix of tradition and modern progress. In 1925, Washington, D.C. faced heavy snow on its streets. A tractor-like vehicle was used to aid in snow removal. This technology marked progress in handling winter's disruptive challenges. Horse-drawn equipment had dominated earlier city snow-clearing efforts. Now, mechanization showed its growing role in urban management. Workers guided machines through wide streets lined with snowbanks. Students at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School attend cooking classes, 1935. The lesson highlights home economics, a key subject in early 20th century education. Girls are seen practicing kitchen skills considered essential for household responsibilities. Such classes reflected societal expectations of women's roles during that era. The photo captures discipline, focus, and the importance of practical learning. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette danced joyfully on their wedding day, 1996. Their private ceremony was held on Cumberland Island, Georgia, with few guests. The moment shows elegance, intimacy, and their bond away from public spotlight. Kennedy, American royalty, and Bessette, a Calvin Klein publicist, captivated the world. This dance remains one of the most iconic wedding photographs of the 1990s. Susan Sarandon has cherished a Simpsons jacket since 1995. She first received it while voicing a character on The Simpsons. The jacket features colorful designs celebrating the iconic animated series. Over decades, Sarandon has continued wearing it proudly at events. Her attachment shows both nostalgia and love for pop culture history. This quirky fashion choice highlights her enduring connection with the beloved show. An Ethiopian Jewish man carries his mother on his back. They were among thousands rescued during Operation Solomon in 1991. This mission airlifted Ethiopian Jews to safety in Israel. The image reflects both hardship and hope in their journey. It captures sacrifice, resilience, and devotion between generations. Their arrival marked a new chapter after years of struggle. A French soldier stands captured by German forces in May 1940. This moment reflects the rapid German advance during World War II. France's defenses collapsed under the intense blitzkrieg strategy. Captured soldiers often faced uncertainty and harsh wartime conditions. The image symbolizes France's vulnerability during the invasion. It also foreshadows the occupation that followed shortly afterward. In summer 1991, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates shared a conversation. Both visionaries discussed where personal computing might head next. Their meeting symbolized competition mixed with mutual respect. Jobs, already reshaping design, pushed for elegance in technology. Gates emphasized accessibility and software's global potential. This casual exchange reflected two different yet influential approaches. In 1870, a bride poses gracefully in her wedding ensemble. The attire reflects Victorian fashion, marked by elegance and modesty. Her gown features detailed lace, heavy fabric, and carefully structured layers. Accessories such as gloves and veil emphasize refinement and tradition. Weddings in this era symbolized family honor and social standing. Photography preserved these moments, turning them into lasting visual heirlooms. Spinners at Work, 1890, photographed by H. Edwards Ficken. The scene captures women engaged in textile production during the late 19th century. Spinning was demanding labor that required skill, patience, and steady concentration. Such images remind us of industrial shifts shaping everyday livelihoods then. These workers contributed silently to an economy that fueled modernization. Mailman N. Sorensen, Chicago, 1929, carrying a heavy load of Christmas parcels. The holiday season brought overwhelming work for the U.S. Postal Service. The weight contrasts with the cheer the packages carried into homes. This photo honors the effort of postal workers during festive traditions. Captured in the Great Depression, it highlights connection through simple mailed gifts. Charlie Chaplin, 1918, posing casually on a sofa in Shanghai. At this time, Chaplin was already one of the world's most recognized film stars. His visit to China highlighted his growing international fame beyond Hollywood. The relaxed pose contrasts with his usual tramp persona on screen. This rare moment shows him as himself, away from performance. It also reflects how cinema had begun crossing cultural borders. The Rolling Stones are seen in a clean-cut photo from 1963. At this time, they were just emerging onto the music scene. Their style was neat, polished, and very different from later years. The band members wore suits, ties, and well-groomed hairstyles. This early image reflects how management wanted them presented initially. Soon, they would redefine rock fashion with bold, rebellious looks. Eartha Kitt is pictured in Amsterdam in 1962. Known for her unique voice, she captivated audiences worldwide with elegance. By the early 1960s, she was already an international star. Her performances combined music, dance, and charisma that left crowds mesmerized. In Amsterdam, she carried her charm across cultural and language barriers. Kit's career spanned cabaret, film, television, and stage, earning her global admiration. A Karaite Jew is photographed in Cairo, Egypt, in 1935. He holds a Torah case, a treasured symbol of faith and tradition. By the 1930s, the Karaite Jewish community in Egypt was dwindling. This rare image preserves a glimpse of their heritage and resilience. Karaites followed scripture alone, rejecting rabbinic interpretations. Communities once flourished in Egypt, Turkey, and Crimea, but gradually declined. A Los Angeles Police Department motor officer poses proudly in 1936. His uniform is crisp, reflecting discipline and authority of the era. The motorcycle beside him symbolizes speed, mobility, and modern policing tools. During the 1930s, motor officers became icons of urban law enforcement. They patrolled growing city streets, ensuring order and safety for residents. A snapshot of New York City in 1963, captured by Joel Meyerowitz. The photo freezes a moment of daily life in a bustling metropolis. Meyerowitz's keen eye highlights the city's energy and restless movement. Every corner seems alive, telling countless untold stories of ordinary people. His work preserves the atmosphere of a rapidly changing America. This street scene reflects the timeless character of New York. This photograph from 1847 shows the famous brothers Wilhelm and Jacob Grimm. They were German academics who studied language, culture, and ancient traditions. Together, they collected folklore and published stories passed down for generations. Their work preserved fairy tales that remain loved around the world. Among their most famous stories are Cinderella and Snow White. This photograph shows a shoemaker from 1850 working with care. Shoemakers were essential craftsmen, creating footwear entirely by hand. Each shoe required hours of labor, patience, and practice skill. The tools were simple: knives, awls, hammers, and heavy wooden lasts. Leather was carefully cut, stitched, and shaped to fit perfectly. Shoemakers often worked long days in small, modest workshops. Betty Davis commands the stage with unmatched energy in 1976. Known for her bold style, she redefined funk and soul music. Her electrifying presence challenged gender norms in a male-dominated industry. Audiences admired her raw voice and fearless stage performances. This image reflects her powerful influence on 1970s musical culture. Davis became an icon of individuality, creativity, and unapologetic self-expression. Two figures stand quietly before Kilmuir Church in Skye, 1906. The church, steeped in history, anchors the rural Scottish landscape. Its simple structure reflects the island's deep religious and cultural traditions. Moments like this highlight everyday life in early 20th century Scotland. The presence of villagers shows faith's importance in small communities. Kilmuir's surroundings connect past generations with enduring Scottish heritage. A chair seller balances his load in Naples, Italy, 1943. He carries stacked wooden chairs carefully upon his head. This everyday scene unfolds during wartime, showing resilience amid hardship. Street vendors like him kept local life moving through struggle. The chairs symbolize both survival and ordinary routines of Italians. Even in war, traditions of trade and craft persisted. A couple shares a cigarette together in 1954. The moment feels casual yet intimate, capturing mid-century youth culture. Smoking was then seen as stylish and socially acceptable. Their relaxed expressions suggest comfort and connection in shared silence. Photographer Yale Joel framed everyday moments with striking authenticity and charm. This image reflects changing attitudes toward romance and leisure in the 1950s. A lone diver stands prepared at Winchester Cathedral in the early 1900s. The unusual scene blends tradition with curiosity, drawing onlookers' fascination. Cathedrals symbolized faith, yet here they hosted daring public spectacles. The diver's posture suggests both confidence and anticipation before the plunge. Such performances reflected society's appetite for novelty and entertainment. A vintage lady sits gracefully, working steadily at her sewing machine. The scene highlights domestic skills central to women's daily life then. Her focused expression shows patience, precision, and quiet determination. Sewing machines symbolized progress, blending tradition with industrial innovation. They empowered households to create, repair, and personalize clothing affordably. Green Cumby, once enslaved, lived in Abilene, Texas in 1937. On July 13th, he was photographed at 86 years old. His life bridged slavery, emancipation, and decades of profound social change. The image reflects both hardship endured and resilience carried forward. Cumby's presence symbolized survival through America's most painful historical chapters. Such portraits preserve living memory of slavery's enduring human consequences. This is the last known photograph taken of the Titanic, captured shortly before her maiden voyage ended in tragedy. The ship appears majestic, embodying human ambition and engineering pride. No hint of the impending disaster lies within this image. Passengers and crew still believed in the dream of progress. Soon, icy waters would shatter that illusion forever. Sophia Loren is seen cooking during the glamorous 1950s. She embodied both cinematic stardom and the warmth of Italian tradition. The kitchen scene highlights her charm beyond Hollywood's spotlight. Even in simplicity, she carried elegance and natural confidence. This candid moment contrasts with her usual dazzling screen presence. It reminds us she valued authenticity as much as fame. Sarah Forbes Bonetta, photographed at 19, was a remarkable young woman. She was originally a Nigerian princess before being captured in conflict. Later, Queen Victoria adopted her, giving Sarah opportunities and education. This portrait from 1862 reflects her grace and dignified presence. Her story highlights colonial complexities and personal resilience during turbulent times. Rita Hayworth rose to fame as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. By 1943, she was already celebrated as the love goddess. Her beauty and charisma captivated audiences during wartime America's golden film era. She starred in major productions, bringing glamour and elegance to the screen. This photo reflects her iconic image at the peak of her career. A young Tunisian Jewish woman stands proudly before her home in Djerba. Above the doorway, Hebrew characters highlight the community's deep cultural roots. The photo reflects Jewish life on the island during the 1950s. Djerba's Jewish community is one of the world's oldest surviving groups. Her presence shows continuity of tradition despite regional and historical challenges. Farmers gather outside the Linwood Post Office on a Saturday afternoon. The post office served as a hub for news and mail. It was also a meeting place for conversations and community ties. Their relaxed posture reflects a brief pause from demanding farm duties. The scene captures rural rhythms and social life in 1940 America. Moments like this highlight how small-town spaces shaped connection and identity. A Yemeni Jewish family gathers in Tel Aviv to celebrate Passover. The table is set with symbolic foods central to the Seder ritual. Their traditions connect centuries of heritage with a new life in Israel. Celebration reflects resilience after migration from Yemen to a young Jewish homeland. Passover's message of freedom resonates deeply for families rebuilding after displacement. A man rides a curious water tricycle across a calm surface. The unusual invention combines bicycle mechanics with buoyant floating pontoons for balance. It reflects early 20th century creativity in experimenting with personal water transport. Such designs often served as entertainment or engineering demonstrations for crowds. Though impractical, inventions like this captured imaginations and inspired later innovation. A father and child share a rare smile in this daguerreotype. Photography was still young, and smiling portraits were uncommon in 1856. Long exposure times usually made subjects adopt still serious expressions. Here, warmth and affection break through the rigid norms of early photography. The father's proud gaze highlights the bond captured between generations. This intimate image preserves a fleeting moment of joy from the past. New York streets glow with holiday lights during the 1940s season. Shoppers crowd sidewalks, arms filled with packages and wrapped gifts. Department store windows sparkle with festive displays, drawing admiring gazes. The city hums with excitement despite wartime challenges of the era. Families search for perfect presents to brighten loved ones' celebrations. This scene reflects resilience, joy, and tradition during uncertain times. A stylish woman attends the races, dressed elegantly for the occasion. Her wide-brimmed hat reflects early 1900s trends of refinement and grace. Fashion at horse races was as important as the sport itself. High society gathered, displaying wealth through clothing and grand accessories. The woman's confident stance mirrors the era's rising sense of modernity. This photograph preserves both fashion and culture of Edwardian social life. The Karmann factory in Osnabrück thrived as an automotive hub. It was famous for producing Volkswagen Beetle convertibles and Karmann Ghias. By 1969, German engineering was influencing global automobile design and innovation. Factories like Karmann represented both craftsmanship and mass industrial progress in Europe. Workers here combined precision with efficiency to meet rising car demand. Jane Seymour in 1988 was already a celebrated actress. She was admired for her elegance and timeless beauty on screen. Her career included roles in film, television, and stage productions. By this time, she had gained international fame and recognition. Audiences admired her versatility, from period dramas to contemporary stories. The late 1980s reflected Seymour's growing influence in global entertainment. Kate Winslet in 1997 became a global household name. Her role in Titanic brought her immense fame and admiration. Audiences praised her emotional depth and natural screen presence worldwide. At only 22, she achieved remarkable international stardom. Winslet embodied both classic beauty and undeniable acting talent. This moment marked the beginning of her enduring Hollywood legacy. In 1887, Harvard students raced on towering penny farthings. The 15-mile course tested balance, endurance, and sheer courage. These bicycles had huge front wheels and tiny back ones. Riders leaned forward, gripping handlebars with intense concentration. The race was both an athletic challenge and public spectacle. Crowds gathered to witness daring young men in action. In 1998, Times Square turned into one giant living room. Thousands gathered to watch the Seinfeld finale on big screens. The sitcom had defined a decade of humor and culture. Fans laughed, gasped, and cried together under glowing neon lights. The moment captured TV's power before streaming changed everything. It was television as a shared national event. For many, the finale felt like saying goodbye to friends. In 1940, Illinois, a farm family gathered on the porch. They waited eagerly as fresh, homemade ice cream was prepared. Children watched closely, their excitement growing with every churn. Summer evenings meant simple joys shared with loved ones. The porch became a place of stories, laughter, and waiting. Ice cream was more than dessert. It was togetherness. This photo captures the sweetness of rural American life. In 1991, Gary Oldman and Uma Thurman appeared together. The photo shows them young, stylish, and full of charisma. Both actors were already rising stars in Hollywood's spotlight. Their pairing reflected a moment of cinematic glamour and intrigue. Oldman's intensity contrasted Thurman's effortless elegance in this candid shot. It's a rare glimpse of two icons before lasting fame. Paris faced severe flooding in 1924, disrupting daily city life. Streets turned into waterways as residents struggled to move around. Shops and homes were overwhelmed by rising waters from the Seine. The disaster highlighted the city's vulnerability to natural forces. Despite hardships, Parisians adapted with resilience and determination. This photograph captures both destruction and the human spirit of endurance. In the 1950s, record stores introduced private listening booths. Shoppers could sample new vinyl before deciding to purchase. These booths offered a personal, immersive experience with music. Teenagers especially enjoyed discovering fresh sounds in private spaces. The practice reflected the growing popularity of recorded music. This photograph captures a cultural shift in musical consumption. General stores were central hubs in small American towns. They sold everything from food to tools in one place. Neighbors gathered here to exchange news and stories. The storekeeper often knew every family personally. This 1899 photo captures daily life in Enfield. It reflects community ties before chain stores and supermarkets. This 1900 photo shows villagers in Zavodki, eastern Galicia. They belong to local families known as Limkos and Bikos. Traditional dress reflects regional customs and rural identity. Such communities lived through farming, herding, and seasonal work. Life was simple, yet bound by strong kinship ties. The photo preserves a glimpse of Galicia's cultural heritage. This 1930 photo shows a roadside picnic near Tokyo. Families gathered outdoors to share food and conversation. Simple mats and containers reflect everyday Japanese life. Picnics offered relief from busy urban routines. They also celebrated community and seasonal beauty. The image captures leisure in pre-war Japan's countryside. This 1965 photo captures life in Scottsdale, Arizona. The town was growing rapidly during the post-war boom. Buildings, cars, and fashion reflect mid-century American culture. Scottsdale balanced modern development with desert traditions. It became known for resorts and Western-style charm. The image shows everyday life in a transforming city. In 1985, workers prepared to remove the Statue of Liberty's torch. The original torch had weakened after decades of weather exposure. A new copper and gold leaf torch was crafted for replacement. This moment marked part of the statue's centennial restoration project. The effort aimed to preserve the monument for future generations. The image shows history, engineering, and symbolism intersecting in one scene. In 1930, alarm clocks were too costly for many households. Instead, people hired knocker-uppers to wake them each morning. Mary Smith was among the most well-known in this role. She used a pea shooter to tap on bedroom windows. Her unusual profession kept workers punctual during the industrial era. This job vanished once affordable alarm clocks became widely available. In 1920, overland cars were tested in daring conditions. Engineers drove vehicles across a deliberately broken bridge. The test measured speed, durability, and suspension strength under stress. Such stunts highlighted the car's engineering reliability to potential buyers. Automakers often used dramatic demonstrations for public attention. This spectacle symbolized the growing competition in the automobile industry. In 1911, actress Maud Adams starred in Edmond Rostand's play Chanticleer. This photo captures her in Act 3 of the Broadway production. Adams was one of the most celebrated American stage performers. Her performance in Rostand's allegorical work drew much attention and praise. Chanticleer explored themes of truth, pride, and the power of belief. This rare image reflects Broadway's golden era and Adams's theatrical brilliance. In 1908, Times Square was already alive with constant movement. Tall buildings surrounded the square, signaling New York's rapid growth. Broadway lights began to shape the area's emerging identity. Pedestrians filled sidewalks, dressed in early 20th century fashion. The scene captured a city embracing progress and modernity. Times Square would soon become the world's most iconic crossroads. In 1930, Margaret Bourke White posed on a Chrysler Building gargoyle. The photo, now colorized, highlights her courage and striking composure. She sat calmly above New York with the skyline stretching behind. Her presence symbolized boldness in both photography and modern architecture. Bourke White became one of the era's most groundbreaking photojournalists. This iconic moment shows her dedication to capturing extraordinary perspectives. In the 1950s, the BMW Isetta redefined small car design. Drivers entered through the entire front door, a unique engineering solution. The compact bubble car became a symbol of post-war European mobility. Its efficiency addressed fuel shortages and economic recovery needs. Though tiny, it carried families through bustling city streets daily. The Isetta ultimately helped save BMW from financial ruin. An ice skating race in 1925 captured winter spirit and excitement. Racers glide swiftly across the frozen track, competing with determination. Such events brought communities together during long, cold winter months. The sport combined skill, balance, and endurance in thrilling competitions. Spectators watched eagerly, cheering participants with pride and enthusiasm. A milkman makes his daily rounds in the Netherlands, 1956. He carries fresh bottles door to door, serving families with care. Such deliveries were common before supermarkets became the main source. The milkman's visit was part of everyday community life. People relied on him for essential dairy products and convenience. This photograph highlights a routine that once defined neighborhood connections. Lumberjacks in the early 1900s stand proudly beside a massive tree. They pose while cutting, showing both their strength and daily hard work. The timber industry was vital, supplying wood for growing towns and railroads. Such dangerous work demanded endurance, teamwork, and precise skill with heavy tools. This image captures not only labor, but also pride in profession. The Johnstown flood of 1889 remains one of America's deadliest disasters. A dam failure released millions of gallons of water into Johnstown. The rushing flood destroyed homes, factories, and railroads within minutes of collapse. Over 2,200 lives were lost, leaving families shattered and communities broken. This rare photo documents the devastation that followed the sudden catastrophe.